Hey everybody, wanted to take a quick video. It's a rifle that I have had for a little bit now. I forget how long exactly I've had this rifle, but it's been asked for several times. It's a pretty badass gun, in my opinion. It's been seen around the world. It's kind of one of those iconic rifles that just the sheer image of it, you automatically know what it is, like a 1911 or a Glock or MP5 or HKG3, which is, this is what this is a copy of. This right here is a copy of a set-me that is the Century Arms version. And this is one of their contract guns where PTR built this. I know that because the serial number, traced it around, kind of configured around some stuff, and figured it out that this is a contract gun for PTR. PTR put the receiver together, helped Century out because they, for whatever reason, don't know what they're doing, don't know the whole story behind it, but I do know this. This is my gun. This is absolutely awesome. I love it. Love it a lot. It is incredibly simple to take down. You just literally just push these pins, pull them out. They are retained by a clip. You got two of them. You don't really need two, but I do like the idea that having two, one is none, two is one, or something like that. Basically being redundant. There are other people on YouTube that have done amazing reviews on this rifle. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get any shooting videos of this gun here recently. The state that I live in has decided to become very tyrannical, and they have written the law in such a way that it is extremely vague. And when I mean extremely vague, I mean extremely vague. And there are some things in that law within Illinois that I don't agree with at all, and it really bothers me. But I will make the video about this gun. I think it's an absolute amazing gun. At first, it was not. It was not at all. This thing jammed like crazy. It did not want to function. But I went through the rounds and I cleaned everything up. And some of the things that I have found with this rifle have worked. I have taken the bolt. I have not gotten rid of all the finish on there, but I have polished up the bolt. When you take this gun apart, go ahead and take it apart real quick. It's not difficult to take apart. I do like the fact that the bolts or the pins are retained in the stock. You can retain them from either side. Put that out, pull this down. Take out the magazine. Pull up on this. Lock that at the rear. Pull out the bolt. Rifle's really simple to take down, kind of like an AK, which I bought my AK right at the same time that I bought this, because when I seen a YouTube reviewer, I forget what his name was, oh, what the heck, what's his name? Anyway, he done a torture test of the C308, 1,000 rounds of 308, and he's just a tiny little guy. And that really impressed me that, you know, this rifle can take 1,000 rounds and melt the handguard off and still keep going. And the fact that this has a massive recoil spring in it to soften the recoil. It's absolutely amazing. This gun is a very soft recoiling 308. I've talked to other people that have had this gun, and it's either hit or miss if the gun is going to beat you to death or be so soft that it's almost not even noticeable. This is a full power 308 cartridge that's being shot out of this gun, and it feels more like shooting a 30-30 or more like shooting a, not quite like an AR, but it's pretty close. I mean, there's next to zero recoil. I mean, it is a full power 308. It is going to move a little bit when you shoot, but it's not like shooting a bolt action 308 at all. And it's nice. This bolt right here, I did polish it up. I took a lot of there's a lot of dings and dents in this bolt. So this bolt has probably been in service at some point in time in its life. I mean, there's even some dings and dents on this side. Well, anyway, those right there are what was dragging on the inside of the receiver. Okay. This thing, sure it's pushed forward. This thing, some of you guys might know, in my last video, I talked about the Franklin Armory trigger group that is in this, and I absolutely love it. I wish that I could get a better handle for this to put on here, because I don't like the angle that this is at, and I don't like when Franklin Armory designed this. You know, if this is going to be a winter rifle, I get it, because of how freaking big these are. It's kind of ridiculous. And then when you go down to fire, okay, it's not in the way. But when you go down to the binary mode, it's in the way. It's kind of ridiculous. That's just my opinion. This rifle, this trigger group does have quite a bit of wear on it. It is pretty nice. And no, this is not a full auto trigger group by any stretch of the imagination. Me personally, I really like this gun. I bought it quite a while back, and I'm really glad I did before tyrannical police departments decided that, you know, they didn't want their American citizens owning firearms. Let me get this damn thing put back together. Come on. It is incredibly simple to put back together. Like, literally, you just put the pins in. They're not terrible. They're not hard. They're not difficult. A couple of things I don't like about this gun. If you have a malfunction in this gun, you have to rack this bolt back and lock it up, just like you would on an MP5 or anything like that. Then you gotta come through the mag well, clear it out, because I would not recommend sticking your finger in here at all. And I mean it, like, at all, because there is some serious force behind this, like in this spring system, this recoil system. This is a delayed roller blowback system, which, if you don't know, a direct blowback system relies on the heavy weight of the slide and heavy spring tension to safely operate that firearm. This gun is similar, but not quite. This has a heavy spring system and a heavy bolt carrier assembly, but it is a roller delayed. So in other words, you get lockup similar or compatible to a bolt action in a semi-automatic platform, supposedly. Don't know how true that is. I'm not a scientist. I don't have chronographs. I don't have all that. But this rifle is extremely accurate. And that is exactly what I plan on turning this rifle into, is a DMR rifle. It's a 308. It'll probably, with a 20-inch barrel, this thing will probably reach out 600-700 yards, no problem whatsoever. And that is exactly why I bought it. That, and magazines are extremely cheap. At least they were. You can't buy these now in Illinois at all. You can't even get them shipped. I think it's absolute bullshit about that, but I really like the fact that these magazines are cheap. You can buy this, it says G3 right there on the mag, and I believe that is the date that it was made. This rifle did not come with this style of magazine. It came with the Set Me style magazine. But for whatever reason, this rifle prefers the G3. There are some kind of magazines, you gotta kind of fiddle around with them a little bit and figure out what it likes. It has something to do with the feed lip angles and how tight they are to the rounds and how loose they are and how high up the rounds sit in the gun. Of course, that's with any gun now that I think about it. But I do like the fact that, you know, it's a 20-round magazine. You can get pretty low with it. I do plan on, at some point, I may knock that over. Better get my damn water out of the way. I do plan on, at some point in time, putting a different style of stock on here. I like the old 90s and 80s style where it's a collapsible stock where it rides in these rails. I think that would be an amazing setup to have a compact DMR rifle, because after the stock is put on there, it's basically from where my hand is, I'll keep my fingers here, basically from there to there. That would make an amazing setup. You get a good trigger group in here and a bipod and a good optic that you work up a hand load for. Oh my gosh, man, like you can, that would be a pretty serious compact package, because at this point, I don't have a tape measure, but this rifle becomes pretty damn short. It's a 20-inch barrel without the muzzle brake. You take off the muzzle brake, it's even shorter. I mean, you're going from that to that. That's a really tiny rifle. It's a really tiny rifle that's probably capable of 600 yards or more in a semi-automatic platform, which I think is absolutely freaking amazing. You can buy upgrades for this gun. I haven't done it yet. I do love wood on guns. I absolutely love it. And I want to get a rail for this, because this gun, I'm a big guy, and this gun is extremely front heavy. I would love to get a rail or a vertical foregrip or a one of those rails for it, to where it's not so much that I have to turn my hand. I'm kind of weird. I don't like the slant. I like it to come straight down on my guns. So it just, for whatever reason, it feels better than doing this. This feels better because I don't know why. It's just my mechanics and how my body is, but I don't like this angle of grip. If I could change that, I would. But this is all one piece, so I fear that I have to buy a part or a change all this out, change out the trigger group, and then it makes that into a whole nother big ordeal. So another thing I wanted to talk about with this gun, if you do decide to buy one of these things are not cheap. When I bought mine, I gave $750 for it after tax. After tax, that's how much this gun costed me. I did not have any sponsors. I do not have any sponsors of this channel. I do want to give a shout out. Vigilance Elite. If you guys get a chance, go check out that channel. It is absolutely amazing. I don't know anybody. I don't even know Sean. Don't even know him. You don't have to. You look at the videos, you look at the content, you see how the man carries himself. He's a good dude. I mean, you can tell. I mean, you can tell the man's a good guy. He's not a sponsor of the show, and I've never met him or anything, but if I did, I would definitely shake his hand, and I would definitely buy that man a Coke or a beer, but I don't think he drinks anymore, so I'll just say Coke. But that's the video on the C308. I do have a class coming up that I'm going to be going to. It's a pistol class, so I'll be doing that. I'll be running my SIG P226. I've currently ordered a leg drop holster for it. I also got on Fieldcraft parts, I think it is. I think it's Fieldcraft parts, or it's something like that. It's some weird site, but it's specifically just for Glock, or not Glocks, but SIGs. I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna order some new parts. I ran into a really weird situation, which that probably brings me to this. I'm gonna try and post two videos today before I go into work. It's currently extremely late tonight. I'm kind of tired, and I have to go into second shift tomorrow, so we'll see how well that goes. But I wanted to get this video out, talk about it a little bit. If there are any questions or anything that you are curious about with this rifle, comment down below. I do see all the comments. I do not have a lot of subscribers. Generally, I get right back to somebody as soon as they make a comment. But I will say this: be respectful. If you're a complete and utter douchebag, I'm gonna ignore you. Like, seriously. You know, everybody needs to be respectful towards everybody. I shouldn't even have to say that. We're all adults, but for whatever reason I do. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about on this rifle. If you buy a C308, it will have the bayonet lug on here. I do know that you supposedly have to change out your muzzle brake and a few other things, like your crush washer, in order for it to be compatible with the bayonet. I have not found a bayonet for this. I would love to buy one. So if somebody is watching this video on the C308, please let me know where I can find a bayonet for this. Almost all of my guns that I would use would have a bayonet on them, because it's a good idea to have a standoff device in any situation. Home invasion, country gets invaded, crackhead neighbors. I don't have any crackhead neighbors anymore. Tyrannical government. That would be top 4. That, and I guess I can make 5 reasons why. To make liberals cry. That would be the absolute best reason to make a liberal cry. That's my number 1 reason. I do like the fact that if you have an empty mag in this gun, you can just stand it up right on the magazine and it balances perfectly. So that tells me the balance point is like right here in the center, which is absolutely amazing. This gun does slow recoil, so like you can squeeze the trigger and you can feel that bolt moving and coming back. Like, it is that slow, which is really cool. Thing that does scare me about running a Franklin Armory trigger group in this gun is the fact that there is a slim chance, in my opinion, this is not fact, in my opinion, for a out of battery detonation. That's why I haven't done a lot with this gun, or haven't done that much with it, because once that bolt passes a certain point and you squeeze that trigger, guess what happens? The bolt still travels forward a little bit after it clears the hammer. The hammer is what keeps everything in place after you've reset. Okay, it goes forward. Now the bolt has to compress to push out the rollers to lock in the gun. Okay, this right here, you squeeze that out of battery, 308 full power 308 cartridge out of battery. There have been videos of it out there on YouTube of severe consequences, whether it be from out of battery or not quite in battery detonations. There are some videos out there where guys have shot squib loads. If you don't know what a squib load is, it's where your powder doesn't ignite enough to push the bullet out the end of the barrel and it stays in place, and then they stack a bullet right behind it and it creates a massive, and I mean a massive, pressure spike, and the gun does what it does. But I will say this, all of those videos that I have seen of that evidence, the gun actually stayed together pretty damn well. And that actually says quite a bit about this gun. It's been around, it's a proven platform, and I like it, not only for the functional aspect, the fact that it is really easy. My wife actually shoots this gun quite a bit. It's not hard recoiling. She is absolutely freaking tiny. She is not heavy by any means, and she shoots this gun very well. In fact, actually, she shot this quite a bit now that I think about it. She doesn't like going shooting with me, but when she does, it makes my day. And if you're watching this, babe, please go shooting with me. I want you to shoot this some more. So, I'm going to get off of here, y'all. Take care. Bye.